high above creation. Heaven breathed in perfect order, untouched by pain or shadow. Light moved through crystal halls like music, and every angel knew his place. There was no rebellion, no wound, no cry of pride rising against the throne. Yet, in the brightest heart of heaven, one silent question began to burn. His name was Lucifer, the bearer of light, the most radiant among the angels. His beauty drew wonder, his wisdom commanded respect, and his presence filled the courts. But the light that once reflected glory began to turn inward upon itself.
Lucifer, come near to me, and do not hide the unrest within your heart. Your light surpasses the angels, but tell me what you seek beyond what you have. Something inside me questions the order I have known since the day I was made. I have always wondered why we must serve without choosing our own path. Your place is to preserve harmony, and obedience holds the kingdom together. What if our place is only a beautiful limit that keeps us from true freedom? Freedom without humility becomes hunger, and hunger can devour the soul. Then I would rather risk the cost than shine forever without a will of my own. If arrogance guides you, you will lose the light that makes you beloved here. Then I will accept the loss if freedom waits beyond the border of obedience.
The words fell across heaven like the first crack in a flawless wall. Angels nearby lowered their voices, afraid to name what they had just heard. None had ever heard one of their own question the Creator with such calm force. Lucifer did not shout, and that made his rebellion feel even more dangerous.
Where will the bearer of light go if his eyes no longer seek the throne?
I do not know, but the peace around him no longer reaches his face. They do not understand me, and I do not yet understand what is waking inside me.
From that moment, heaven remained bright, but Lucifer no longer felt at home. The songs continued, the fountains rose, and the stars kept their ordained paths, but every perfect sound seemed to press against him like a command. He walked the golden corridors with measured steps and a heavier heart. The peace that once comforted him now felt like a door locked from within.
Why was I given brilliance if I may only use it to serve another will?
He had received beauty, strength, intelligence, and honor beyond measure. Yet every gift seemed tied to one purpose, and that purpose began to feel small. What once satisfied him now tasted like a crown placed on a servant. He climbed the highest balcony of the palace and looked across creation. Worlds moved in silence. Stars burned in order, and nothing dared leave its course. To every loyal angel, the sight was perfect, but to Lucifer, it looked like a cage.
Everything is beautiful, yet beauty is not freedom if every road is chosen for me.
At first, the thought was soft, like wind moving across a field of light. Then it returned each day with sharper edges and a voice that sounded like truth. He did not yet wish to destroy heaven, and he did not yet call himself enemy. He only wanted to believe that his desire was noble, clean, and deserved.
Why must I serve another when the fire within me feels strong enough to rule?
That question became a seed, and the seed found hidden soil in his pride. The more he listened to it, the more obedience sounded like a chain. The more he defended it, the more gratitude began to feel like weakness. His light did not fade at once, but it changed its warmth and direction. It stopped feeling like a reflection and began to feel like a claim. In a crystal mirror of the palace, Lucifer studied the face he once knew. His eyes still shone, but the calm inside them had turned into command.
I was not made only to mirror glory, because my light deserves a name of its own.
The thought should have frightened him, and for a brief moment, it did. But fear quickly became fascination, and fascination became permission.
You shine like the one above all, so why should you lower your head forever? If I carry a light so close to his, perhaps his power should also be mine.
The warning he had received no longer sounded like mercy to him. It sounded like a boundary drawn by someone afraid of what he might become. That was the true danger. Not that Lucifer doubted, but that he named doubt wisdom.
Why should I fear this force, if it may be the truest part of me?
Alone. The question grew too loud, and Lucifer knew silence would not hold it. If others felt the same hidden hunger, then his unrest was not madness. He called the seraphim closest to him, those who had long trusted his light. When they arrived, he stood with his wings open beneath a golden radiance. The chamber looked holy, but the air inside it had already begun to change.
Thank you for coming, because there is something I can no longer bury in silence.
We are here to listen, Lucifer, as we have always listened to you.
I have served God with all that I am, and I have carried his light faithfully.
But I feel there may be more for us than obedience dressed in glory.
More than obedience is a dangerous thought, and danger often enters softly.
Have you never wondered what you could become if your path belonged to you?
Our glory is found in the will of God, not in reaching beyond it.
And if I do not want to remain only that, what if I truly can become more?
Are you speaking of a path that no longer depends on the Creator?
I do not know, but for the first time, I can see myself beyond the limits.
That is pride, Lucifer, and pride does not announce the darkness it begins.
Or perhaps it is the first honest cry of a being who wants to know himself.
We were not made to seize ourselves away from the one who gave us life.
Silence filled the chamber, and even the golden light seemed to hesitate. Lucifer saw fear in their eyes, but he also saw the first spark of curiosity. That small spark was enough, because pride only needs one open door to enter.
God gave us existence, but he never asked what we wished to do with it. I do not want to remain forever inside a role chosen before my first breath.
Are you saying you wish to rise above the Creator himself?
I want the same right to choose, and if that means surpassing him, then yes.
The seraphim froze, as if something sacred had shattered before them. Lucifer lowered his gaze for a moment, but he did not take the words back. In that refusal, the first quiet rebellion found its voice inside heaven. The silence did not end the rebellion, because silence often protects what fear cannot face. The seraphim left the chamber changed, carrying words they wish they had not heard. Some prayed for Lucifer, while others could not stop hearing the shape of his question. Lucifer watched them go and understood that doubt had touched more hearts than his own. He did not need them to agree at once, because hesitation was already a beginning.
A wall does not fall when it is struck, but when its first stone begins to loosen.
From that hour, Lucifer moved through heaven with a careful and dangerous calm. He smiled when others bowed, but behind his eyes he measured every weakness. His rebellion was not yet a shout. because a whisper could travel much farther. In the deepest gardens of heaven, golden lights floated among ancient trees. There, beneath the beauty of paradise, Lucifer gathered the few who already trembled. They were angels with restless eyes, loyal in posture, but divided in secret. Belial stood among them first. Troubled by the thoughts Lucifer had awakened,
We accepted the role given to us, but your words have opened a hunger in me.
Then do not fear that hunger, because hunger only reveals what the soul lacks.
I fear what comes after it, because desire does not always stop where it begins.
Fear is the chain that keeps a bright mind bowing before another will.
the others listened, drawn by the warmth of his voice and the poison beneath it. Lucifer did not present treason as darkness, but as a door no one dared open.
We were given beauty, power, clarity, and strength beyond the stars themselves. Yet we are told our highest glory is to never ask where our own road leads. If we rise openly, the order of heaven will break before our eyes.
We will not rise openly yet, because wisdom moves before thunder speaks.
Then what is the first step, if not weapons and open defiance? We search for the ones who already feel the wound, but have never named it.
We speak softly, awaken questions, and let each angel believe the thought is his own.
The plan frightened them because it was patient, and patience made it believable. They had expected fury, but Lucifer offered strategy wrapped in calm conviction. Astaroth listened from the edge of shadow, his light already dimmer than before.
You are not asking us to fight bodies, but to change minds from within.
Exactly, because a kingdom falls first in the secret place where loyalty begins.
And what of God, Lucifer? Because nothing can hide from the one who made us.
We do not hide from truth, Belial. We reveal the freedom he never gave us.
We do not hide from truth. Belial. We reveal the freedom he never gave us. The words were bold, but Lucifer spoke them as if he were naming justice. That was what made him dangerous, because evil did not yet look ugly on him.
Let them think we offer questions, not war, until their obedience begins to crack.
This path may cast us out of every light we have ever known.
Then we will fall, only to rise, as beings who finally belong to themselves.
The gathered angels felt fear move through their wings like a cold wind, yet fear no longer pushed them back. Because Lucifer had given it a new name, he called it Awakening, and they wanted to believe him more than they wanted peace. After that night, heaven still sang, but the songs no longer sounded whole. Small pauses appeared between voices, and glances lingered longer than they should. Angels who once bowed without thought now looked at their own hands in silence. The rebels moved among them gently, offering questions sharpened like hidden blades.
Have you never wondered why your strength belongs to a purpose you did not choose?
Some turned away at once, loyal and wounded by the suggestion itself. Others stayed quiet, but the question followed them into prayer and duty. That was how the rebellion spread. Not as fire at first, but as warmth. It passed through corridors, gardens, and choirs without raising a single sword. Lucifer watched from above, patient, proud, and convinced that heaven was changing.
Without swords, we will win their minds before their hands know what to do.
But deception never moves forever without leaving a shadow behind. Uriel, one of the most faithful guardians, began to notice the fractures. He saw angels whispering where they once worshipped and withdrawing where they once served. He followed the unease through shining halls until it led him to Lucifer. The air around them tightened, as if heaven itself held its breath.
Lucifer, the secret is over, because we know what you have been doing. It is not a secret, Uriel, because what I offer them is freedom.
You are tearing perfection open and calling the wound a doorway.
Perfection that cannot be questioned is only another name for captivity. No, it is trust, and you are teaching brothers to suspect the hand that made them. I am teaching them to stand, because knees were never meant to be our destiny.
The rebels gathered behind Lucifer, tense, but lifted by his fearless tone. On the other side, loyal angels moved toward Uriel, with grief in their faces. No one wanted war, but every heart understood that peace had already been wounded.
You can still stop this, before your pride becomes the chain you cannot break. My chain was obedience, and I have carried it long enough. Then you will force heaven to defend what you are trying to corrupt. Defend it if you must, but do not pretend fear is holiness.
The space between them became a battlefield before any blade was raised. Their words struck harder than steel, because they divided brother from brother.
May God have mercy on you, because I can no longer reach the angel you were.
The angel I was served in silence, but the one before you chooses fire.
In that moment, the rebels stepped forward, not with weapons, but with voices. Their questions moved through the loyal ranks like arrows no shield could catch. Some angels trembled, some prayed, and some looked from Lucifer to Uriel in pain. Heaven had not yet heard the clash of war, but its unity had already broken. The first blow did not begin with steel, but steel soon answered what pride had broken. Heaven shook as rebel angels rushed forward with rage burning through their wings. Loyal angels stood their ground, not hungry for war, but unwilling to let darkness rule. The crystal floors trembled beneath the weight of brothers becoming enemies. Songs that once filled the courts were drowned by the crash of light against shadow. Lucifer moved at the center of the storm, beautiful, terrible, and almost unrecognizable.
Do not fall back now, because heaven already belongs to those brave enough to claim it.
Belial fought beside him, driven by fear, devotion, and the promise of a new throne.
We have crossed the line, Lucifer, and there is no mercy behind us now.
Then look ahead, Belial, because the future is never given to those who kneel.
Astaroth and Asmodeus struck with savage force, tearing through the shining ranks. Every fallen blow made Lucifer believe the universe was bending toward his will. He mistook movement for victory, and victory for proof that he deserved worship.
At last, vengeance and freedom rise together in the hands of those who dared.
Then, a radiance greater than 1,000 suns broke across the wounded horizon. The battle froze, and every angel turned from the war toward that unbearable light. From within it came Michael, leader of the heavenly army and servant of holy justice. His armor did not shine with pride, but with obedience purified by courage. Lucifer swallowed his fear before anyone could see it, and lifted his face in contempt.
Do you think your light can smother the fire I have awakened in heaven?
It is not my light, Lucifer, but the justice of God standing against you.
Lucifer attacked first, because pride would rather strike than listen. Their blades met in the air, and the sound tore through the courts like thunder. Michael moved, like a storm guided by mercy. Never cruel, never uncertain. Uriel and Raphael advanced beside him, cutting through the darkness with holy precision. The rebels, who had seemed unstoppable, began to stagger beneath the weight of truth. Lucifer saw his strongest followers fall, and panic flickered behind his burning eyes.
No, this cannot be the end, because I was not made to lose beneath anyone.
Hatred gathered in him like a black sun. Fierce enough to darken the sky, he hurled all his corrupted power toward Michael. Hoping force could silence judgment, Michael raised his sword, and the shadow broke apart like smoke before the dawn.
Your pride has blinded you, Lucifer, until even your own light became a prison.
With one swift movement, Michael struck him down and bound him in chains of light.
Receive the power of the light you chose to turn against its source. No, I am still the Prince of Light, and no chain can make me bow.
The great rebel fell to his knees, exhausted, humiliated, and still refusing repentance. When his army saw him bound, their courage collapsed into terror and silence. Weapons slipped from trembling hands, and the rebellion lost the voice that fed it.
You chose evil, and heaven can no longer give your pride a place.
A sorrowful peace descended over the battlefield, deeper than the silence before war. Then the Lamb appeared, carrying authority without rage and mercy without weakness. He looked upon Lucifer with grief, because judgment does not erase what was loved.
Heaven cannot receive selfishness as freedom, Lucifer, and call the wound holy.
Lucifer stared back with wild eyes, unable to bear pity from the one he rejected.
This is not justice, because I was born to rise above every throne. Exiled to the shadows, where the light you refused will no longer cover you.
The bright floor beneath the rebels cracked, as if creation itself had opened. A black abyss spread below them, endless, hungry, and colder than forgotten stars. For the first time, the traitors saw the cost of the freedom they had followed. Their wings shook, their faces twisted, and their proud songs became cries of fear.
I will not be erased, because even the abyss will learn to call me king.
With a final cry of rage, Lucifer and his followers were pulled into the void. They fell from heaven like burning stars, torn away from their appointed places. Light vanished above them, and the darkness below rose to claim what pride had made. The fall did not only cast them down, because it changed what they had become. Lucifer, once the most beautiful of angels, felt his radiance collapse into hatred. Around him stretched an endless realm of smoke, stone, emptiness, and living shadow.
This is where we belong now, Lucifer, and this place is only oblivion.
You still do not understand, Belial, because this darkness is only the beginning. We will shape the abyss into a weapon and make our exile into an empire.
At the sound of his voice, the darkness stirred as if it had been waiting. Monstrous forms rose from the smoke, drawn to the fallen angel who would rule them. Lucifer no longer sought forgiveness, because repentance would require surrendering his throne. He had wanted freedom, but pride had led him into a kingdom of chains. This is how the brightest angel became the ruler of shadows. It did not begin with horns, fire, or a monstrous face. It began with one quiet thought that refused gratitude and called itself truth. Lucifer asked why he should serve, and the question became a mirror for his pride. That same war still happens inside the human heart, in quieter forms. We want control, applause, power, success, and a throne no one can question. We tell ourselves we are becoming free, while pride slowly teaches us to stand alone. But isolation is not freedom, and domination is not the same as destiny. The ego promises light, yet it slowly turns the soul away from every source of warmth. True freedom is not found in becoming greater than everyone around us. It is found in humility, love, limits, purpose, and peace with the Creator. Pride builds a throne in the dark and calls the darkness a kingdom. Humility keeps the light alive, even when the heart is tested by fire. If this story moved you, leave your like and subscribe for more stories of faith. Tell us where you are watching from, and may God bless you.